Hey everyone, welcome to Greenlight. So today is Blu-ray Tuesday, and we have a couple of new releases out. Some big ones. We have one main one, which is Spider-Man: Far From Home. So we have many releases of that, and then we have Driven with Jason Sudeikis. Me and my wife were just trying to figure out his first name, and then and Lee Pace as well in it, and then Framing DeLorean out as well, and then Doom Annihilation. So we're gonna get more into that right away, and we're gonna get started right now. All right. So first thing first, please hit the notification bell, guys and gals as well, and everybody that's on uh, watching me right now. Let's see, real quick. Let's see if there's anybody on right now. So it says there's one person. Say hello in the chat, and I'll give you guys a shout out. Everybody a shout out. All right. So we're gonna start with our first Blu-ray today. Um, If you haven't been here before, we do filmmaking tips and Blu-ray releases every week, as well as movie code giveaways, which is something that will show up in the cards above. So if you're watching this on the playback, then you'll see up on the cards above the latest one. If not, you'll see the first one that I did. The latest one I did, which is the second one, just started on Sunday, and it will end on October 4th of this week, on Friday. So just follow the instructions. Make sure you put your Instagram account so I can send it to you on Friday, and that's when you will know. And then you can tell your friends and tell everybody about my channel and that we do that here. But we talk about filmmaking tips, and we talk about Blu-ray releases, especially about the featurettes and what they can do to help you as a filmmaker. So my son currently is playing and watching Cars, the first Cars. I love Cars. I like the first one a lot. All right, so let's move on into Disney, I guess, for a little bit. Marvel has acquired Spider-Man from Sony and is paying, it sounds like they're paying a ransom for Spider-Man so that he can be in the Marvel universe for at least a little bit for right now and be a part of the whole Avengers and everything in Phase 4. So this is the 4K version of Spider-Man Far From Home. This is the cover of it. So let's see. And then we have the back of it here as well. Let me just show you all the different covers real quick. So this is the Target cover here. And then we have the 2 movie collection. And then we have a Walmart version of this as well. Right here. So this one comes with like a retro action figure, I believe. So when I see something like retro and I'm looking, if you look closely at the action figure, you look at his elbows and his knees and stuff like that, it does, I'm going to zoom in here. It looks like the old school, they say retro, but this was when I was a kid. These were the toys. So they had like the arms that could like articulate and his, knees and all that stuff. So that's pretty cool. So if that's out, that's a pretty good buy right there with the Blu-ray and everything. So let's see. All right, and now we're gonna talk about the making of here. Let's see what kind of special features there are for this film. So this is the back part of it, of the 4K. This is the back of the 4K. The Blu-ray should look similarly like this as well. without the HDR, I believe, and all this Ultra 4K stuff on the left. But we're going to talk about the special features and see what they got for us here. Marvel always has really cool special features and special effects and stuff like that. Things that you can really learn from, as a filmmaker. So you can make films of your own or superhero films of your own. Tell your own stories. Let's see here. There's a all-new short film, Peter To-Do List. I'm not sure what that's about. Let me know in the comments. I haven't seen this film yet. I've seen everything. The only thing I'm missing is Ant-Man and the Wasp, and then this movie, and then I haven't seen Endgame as well. So I'm just missing 3 Marvel films. So I haven't seen them, but let me know in the comments below what you think about this short film without giving away too many spoilers. If you can or cannot, it doesn't matter if you can't. Just put it down in the comments below. Let's see. Cast bloopers, deleted scenes, and then Blu-ray exclusives. There's stealthy Easter eggs. So I guess they tell you all the Easter eggs that go on throughout the film. Far from home featurette. I believe that's probably going to be talking about their trip abroad for this film, and they did it overseas. I believe they shot in Spain and a bunch of other places in Europe. So let's see, Suit Up, which is, they're going to talk about the suit. So the suit that they hinted at in the first film of this version of Spider-Man, the Tom Holland Spider-Man, this is the second one. So in the first one, at the end, they introduced the Iron Spider-Man suit. So I guess he uses it a lot in here. He also does the low-key one as well. So, which looks pretty cool on the 4K cover here. And then there's Fury and Hill. I'm guessing that's talking about Nick Fury a little bit here. Then Thank You, Miss Parker, and much more. So those last 2 are going to delve in more on the actors and their characters and everything like that. Since they're like veteran actors, you got Samuel Jackson, you're going to go into their daily routine on these sets and stuff like that, most likely. Or talking about Nick Fury and everything to do with Marvel. So let me know in the comments what you think is going to be in there. And much more. So a lot of these will be like 20-30 minutes. They're going to be like candy featurettes, because this is Sony Pictures releasing this. So since they're releasing it, it's going to be a little bit more, it's not going to be as hefty. Each one, I'm not sure, but they're going to be cut in a way where they're going to be really entertaining. So just expect to be entertained, but look in between the lines, read between the lines here, and you'll probably see a lot of behind-the-scenes featurettes, kind of stuff that can help you as a filmmaker and see how they have certain things set up and stuff like that. A lot of people do that. They'll get some footage here, and then they'll marry it together with the take in the movie, and then try to put it over each other. Me and my wife were watching it last night on Instagram with Hugo, which is pretty cool. So sometimes they'll do stuff like that in the behind the scenes. All right, so moving on to the next film that was released today. This is a sequel to Doom. So the first one has The Rock, I believe. I remember vaguely some things. It wasn't so great from what I remember. This is Doom Annihilation. It's not something I was too keen into in the first one, but this one looks interesting as well. So let me know in the comments below if you enjoyed this film. And then they have the back end, but there's no special features. So we're going to get through this one fairly quickly. And the next few too, there's not too many. And then a couple re-releases that I'm going to talk about real quick. I don't normally do that, but I'm doing it for these films, and you'll see why. Um, Especially since this week is not so hefty on like behind the scenes. The next film we're talking about now is Itsy Bitsy. Right? This is just the front end. We don't have the back end, but this is a independent releasing. So please let me know in the comments below if you enjoyed this film and what you think. And then the next one is a documentary, which is coinciding a feature film version, but we'll skip that. We'll go into this one real quick. This is another independent releasing overseas. The Gangster, the Cop, the Devil. So this looks like a. I could be wrong if it's an Asian releasing, but from Asia, or it could be China or Japan. And so let me know in the comments below if you've seen this. But this looks like a crime thriller, one of those like drama crime thrillers maybe. It could be really, really good. I mean, even The Departed was a remake from a film like this, so this looks pretty good. Um, let's go and move on to the next thing. So we have a documentary coming out called Framing John DeLorean. So this is just the front end of the documentary. And then there's a film that came out with Jason Sudeikis as well. And it covers this more in a fictional looking, like it's a biopic, I guess, in a way. But it's just about this situation. So I don't know what happened here in the 80s with John DeLorean, but it looks like they tried to frame him for something and it didn't take, and people realized that it wasn't real. So I guess this was like a heist. It looks like a heist movie, the next film, so I'm just going to show it right now. Alright, so it's called Driven. Alright, it's got Lee Pace, Judy Greer, and then Corey Stoll from House of Cards. So Lee Pace, I like him. He was from *Halt and Catch Fire*, which was really good, and you can catch him in the Hobbit movies as well. This is a Universal releasing. Both of them are Universal releasing, the documentary and the film, which is pretty cool that it's released in the same day. If you're a fan of this, I'm a fan of Back to the Future, big time. I mean, if I had money to just throw around and stuff like that, these would be like 2 quick buys for the sake of that they have a DeLorean on the front cover and they talk about John DeLorean. There's no special features here, but this is a biopic releasing, I believe, almost. No, it looks interesting. So I know me and my wife want to check it out because of the actors and everything. It looks like a heist type comedy type of thing. But moving on, let's go on to the next 2 films. I'm adding an added bonus of these 2 movies right now. Well, Blu-ray releasings. This is a what you see here is the House of Hitchcock, which is basically a limited edition collector's edition of all Alfred Hitchcock films on Blu-ray, just on Blu-ray. So these are re-releasings, but the reason why I'm saying this is because they have the back end on this one, and you can see special features. There's a lot of bonus features here, and this is great to see how, you know, I guess for young people, it's like to see how the older people do it, I guess, in a way. If people want to say like millennials and everything like that, but really here it's good to see where we come from as filmmakers. So you see how the greats did it back then, and then you see basically how what you can get away with now, because a lot of the things that were used back then are still used today, and there's a lot of rules then you could kind of bend in between all that. So with education, there's always rules that you can break, I guess, and you can find the best rules to break, and what to like cut down. Because one of the things that I talk about all the time, here as well as with my friends, is crew, like bringing down the crew, like basically just having more than one person is not really gonna cut it. Like the less people you have on set, the better. So if you have, you know, one or two people on set, each person has to do multiple jobs. So that means they're not only the producer on set, or maybe they could even be the executive producer as well, because they join you after with editing as well. But you know, joining you, you know, as a film crew, knowing that you're also gonna do maybe even sound there, and as a producer, that's something that, you know, some filmmakers and some producers have to check within themselves. It could be like an ego thing, getting a good, you know, producer, let alone a very good boom operator, which is a boom mic operator. So that takes a lot of skill, being a behind the scenes personnel. So just, you know, take all that in mind when you're watching these things. There's obviously they're shooting in film and they have big, you know, they got, you know, big Fresnel lights, and like they got these really huge ones that basically like, it's supposed to emit daylight at a night scene and stuff, and they'll have like uh, a, a good amount of them like covering a street nowadays. But back then they'll do it covering like, you know, all of the Psycho House and the Bates Motel and stuff like that. So I'm not sure if they'll go into it like that in here with Psycho, but let's see. Let's see. I see 7 TV episodes, and then Alfred Hitchcock Presents, and then 3 TV episodes of Alfred Hitchcock Hour. So I never watched the shows or anything like that, so I'm not sure exactly what that's about. But there are movies here and what they include. So Saboteur, Shadow of a Doubt, Rope. I loved Rope. Rope is great with the one camera. They were really trying to make an effect where it was all shot in one take. But basically, they kind of were. They were considered long. They're considered long takes now, but the way you know, he shot them, I would just recommend check it out, because the camera would just swipe behind somebody's back or behind something, and it would be a quick cut, and it would keep moving and all this stuff, and you'll see it, and it's very clever, because if you do it now, with lighting and everything, you could really pull this effect off, especially on in Premiere Pro, and even with Premiere Pro's compositing and stuff like that, just with 2 shots over each other. If you plan it out just right, you can do it, and you could even do it in film, in camera. A lot of people have, and they have done it back then. This is what you get by watching these types of behind the scenes documentaries when it comes to filmmakers like this, like old greats like Alfred Hitchcock. So let's see. It says bonus features. It says documentaries. There's expert commentaries. You see what I'm saying? Interviews and screen tests and much more. So with that being said, that's already including way more. Let me move this up here so you can see all the discs and stuff like that. I like seeing, you know, all the different types of films and all that stuff. I like seeing a big chunk pack, and, you know, there's like a signed letter, and I believe that's like the Psycho House and how they the construction of it, all the plans, the blueprints of it, of the set. That's pretty cool. And then all the posters of the films and And then I see a little booklet up there and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool. That's a huge set that comes with this. I hope to one day I could bring one of these on the show, which I will in the future. I like these type of like Blu-ray sets and stuff like that. For good films or good filmmakers that I really admire, I normally would do it. So we'll see down the line in the future. So the next one, real quick, is the Death and Return of Superman. So this is a film collection pack. This is the 4K version on there. So what you're going to find in the description below is links to everything that I've talked about here, including this on Blu-ray. This is only on Blu-ray, and so is the Hitchcock one. Is only on Blu-ray. It's the only one that's out. It's on Blu-ray right now. And they have it on 4K, I believe, as well out there in the stores. But if you click the links below, you'll probably find it within Amazon. It looks like they didn't have it, so all I have is the Blu-ray link. But if you click my link there, you're helping my channel out greatly, and you're helping us out here. And the royal we is including my wife and son and all of you guys and all of you gals as well on here, and who's ever supporting this channel by watching and taking part by commenting. So Daddy needs to move on, and we'll go into the behind the scenes real quick. Let's see the back end here. Sorry, my son's riding his little bike. Let's see. This is why I do it in the microphone here, so you guys can get a good sound of me. So let's see here. You see the back here, and they have some special features as well. But there's these are older releasings, so it's a continuation film. So let's see. They got a documentary, Long Live Superman, an all-new documentary, and then they got the Death of Superman, the brawl that topped them all featurette. A lot of these featurettes are really cool, so they're gonna get into really heavily about the animation and the story and everything with Superman. So, and the comic book, a lot of comic book talk, basically in this one. And then from the DC Vault, 6 bonus cartoons and more. That's cool. So we're gonna get some bonus stories and stuff like that. 6 of them. You know, that's really cool. And then they're saying and more, so there could be, you know, some interviews and stuff like that. What's good about this is not only you get more tidbits of the stories and stuff, scenes maybe they couldn't add into these movies, you know, maybe for pacing issues. And that's another thing you'll learn as a filmmaker, especially in here. And if you're an animator, this is great for you to check out because they could get into how they created, you know, the animation here. A lot of times now, like nowadays, they've been using computers, but they still utilize animators and artists to draw out these great looking, you know, art pieces. They're considered art pieces nowadays with these superheroes and stuff like that, just by looking at this back end here with Superman. Okay, there we go. So that's pretty cool. So like, and it comes with a toy, I believe. Let me go back to the front here. So I don't know who this is, if this is like Metal Superman. Uh-oh, Logan. Over there's no. Uh-oh. Okay, it's okay. It's okay. Let it go. It's all right. Mommy got it. So this is a toy. Let me know in the comments below what you think this is. And then we're going to go here quickly. Thank you guys for joining me today on this episode. And if you're interested in movie codes, this week we have John Wick and John Wick Chapter 2 and 10 Cloverfield Lane as well that I'm giving away as a movie code. So just follow the instructions and follow the links above, and I'll see you guys here next week. Thank you.